We're in Gonalston in Nottingham. This is our home, our base, and we've lived here for 3.5 years now. Still a bit of a work in progress, but no, it's great. We've just come back from Hickstead, and quick turnaround, and we're off to Dublin. The horses are off to Dublin this evening.
What horses have we got going to Dublin?
We've got Royale de Rouet, which is behind us, the black stallion. He's an 8-year-old. He's sort of relatively inexperienced at top level jumping, but I think he's a real prospect for the future. We've got Diaghilev. He's a 10-year-old gelding. He competed at Hickstead last week, and he's actually in the field at the minute, just having a couple of hours recuperation before he travels again to Dublin.
Royale, maybe just fill us in. This year, how has he performed for you?
Yeah,
at different shows?
He's gone really well. I took him to Aachen, and he was third in the young horse final in Aachen. He won the Grand Prix nationally at Arena UK last week, so he's got some decent form at the moment, and hopefully he'll have a decent show in Dublin. You know, I don't think he'll be a horse for the biggest classes, but maybe a horse for the middle classes during the week in Dublin.
And then the other horse?
Diaghilev, I don't have him too long. I've had him sort of 4.5, 5 months now. I've sort of been building up a relationship with him, but he's a really talented horse. He jumped really well last week in Hickstead. He was double clear in the Nations Cup, and he was 7th in the King George, the Grand Prix as he is. And I'm hoping for some good things from that horse in the future. He feels like he's got a lot of ability.
Where do you get your horses from?
Everywhere and anywhere. It could be travelling to Holland and Belgium to buy them. It could be seeing them at a local show. It could be an owner ringing me up asking me if I'd compete his horse. It could be a horse we've bred from all walks of life. If they're good enough, I'm happy to have them, you know.
And Royale, where did he come from?
Royale came from Katrina and Jason Moore. Actually, one of their stable jockeys came up for some lessons, for some training for a week, and they brought this horse with them, and I really thought it was a really talented horse. Consequently, he left, and then they sent me the horse to sort of produce and bring on and compete.
And Diaghilev?
Diaghilev was ridden by a girl called Anna Edwards in the south of England. She'd had some very good results with the horse. They won the Grand Prix in Mill Street last year, and their owner Terry Payne has decided to give the horse to me now to compete at sort of bigger shows and bigger level.
Maybe just tell us how important owners and coaches are, all of the different other people that make up the teams. Yeah,
the owners, I mean, without the owners, it's a near impossibility. I mean, you can be lucky enough to stumble on a good young horse and bring it along and bring it up to the top level, but to compete at the highest level, you need financial backing, and without my owners, it would be difficult to stay at the highest level. I have many endorsements, sponsors, from the shavings in the stables, from the feed. Red Mills are big supporters of myself. I started my association with Red Mills I think 12 months ago, and the difference in the horses, how they look and how they feel health-wise is a big turnaround, so I'm very grateful to them. And it's been a very easy, comfortable, sort of great relationship with Red Mills. The feeding system is very easy. I mean, I'm a real believer that less is more with horses anyway. So with the feeding regime we have, with the mixes, with the horse care nuts, especially if you have maybe a horse that's suffering from some ulceration, it seems to be a really good product. I know my best horse, Tinker Serenade, she was suffering from some ulcers, some stomach ulcers, and since we've moved to the Horse Care 10, she's really improved, and she's put a lot more condition on. So, I mean, I can't talk highly enough of Red Mills and the feed.
Are they at the end of a phone call, like if you do have problems?
Yeah, always. Charmaine is the agent here in the UK, so she's always on the phone if I need anything. With the deliveries, I think it's shipped from Ireland actually, but it's, you know, they're never late. It's always on time, and I normally deal with Gareth Connolly, and I would say we've become fairly friendly now in the last sort of 2 years. So it's been a great association, you know. Every association with the clothes I wear, the tack on the horses, the shavings in the stables, it's all endorsed or sponsored in some way. So I'm very lucky to have Amerigo, my tack sponsor, EasyBed, my shaving sponsor, obviously Red Mills, the feed, and there's many others. Equiline, my clothes sponsor. So it all helps because it's an expensive job we do, you know.
Maybe tell us then about some of your accomplishments, like starting from the year. When did you start?
Yeah, I sort of was, I think, shoved onto a pony because my parents ran a riding school in Southern Ireland, so horses were around us from a very early age, you know. But I was happier kicking a football when I was young, so I wasn't really that into the horses. But I succumbed in the end anyway, and it worked out really well. My aunt, subsequently, she passed away many years ago, but she introduced me to the sport, Arvel Hitchmo, and she travelled me around the length and breadth of Ireland competing ponies and giving me the experience I needed to get to a higher level. So and I suppose when I got a bit more successful, won in Dublin in 12-2s and 13-2s, and then I suppose maybe got the bug at that stage, and then got a bit more serious about the job, you know.
To date, what's been the highest highlight for you?
There's been many. I suppose winning the Aga Khan in Dublin is always a big highlight for any Irish rider, you know. I've been lucky enough to win it twice, and they're great memories. I won the Rolex Top 10 final in Paris last year with Tinka Serenade. I've competed in World, European, Olympic championships, so I can't complain thus far, you know.
Ambitions then for the future?
To keep sort of at the top level. I've missed nearly sort of 8 months. I had back surgery, and then after the back surgery I got a bad fall off a horse here at home, and I got a small fracture. So it's been, the last sort of years, it's been a bit difficult, but sort of just trying to get back to the standard I was at, and I think I've got some good horses around me again, so I think it's achievable, you know.
Okay, maybe tell us a bit about the team that you have working here.
Yeah, they're great. I think without them all, it all runs like clockwork around here, luckily enough. You know, the day-to-day running, it seems, you know, it maybe would appear that it's all easy, but it's very hard work. You know, there's 15, 17 stables to muck out every morning. There's horses to be groomed, fed, looked after, exercised. You know, it's important that they go. We get them out as much as we can. They're on the walker, they're in the field, they're worked on the flat, they're jumped. The physio was here this morning before you arrived. They've had 2 that are competing in Dublin. They've had their back done before they leave. So it's a constant, you know, it's constant care from whether it's the grooms, Tom Kerry, or whether it's other members of staff, the blacksmith, Chris, the physio, like I said, Mark Windsor's been here this morning, the vets. You know, it's a big wheel that has to keep turning, you know. And
then you have your family.
Yeah, they're bombing around there somewhere. You'll see them in a minute, but they're off school at the moment. So we had a nice time at Hickstead. We all went in the camper van, and they had a right time. I have 3 children, Lily, Evie, and George, and they're coming to Dublin as well, so that'll be nice. With the family, like for instance, Dublin and Hickstead are really convenient because the hotels are really close to the show. We were able to take the camper van to Hickstead, so that you're right on site all the time. There's other shows that aren't convenient. You know, you could be an hour away from an airport, you could be an hour away from a hotel. So it's just picking the shows that are convenient for the family to be at, and if the kids are off school, then it's nice for them to be there, you know.
The RDS, maybe just tell us what that means to you.
Yeah, like I said, I've competed there since I was probably 8 years of age. So I've been going there now for 28 years, which is a long time. And it's great to compete in front of your home crowd. You know, they really get behind you, especially on Aga Khan Day. And it's a great buzz when you win there, and it's great to go back because I'm based in the UK, and you get to see all your sort of people that you haven't bumped into for many years, and it's you know, I'll see my mum and my sister, my brother, and they'll all be able to hook up with the kids again, so it's all nice, you know.
And to be on the Irish team, how did that come about?
Yeah, I've been competing on Nations Cups now for many years. My first Nations Cup was in Medina in Italy. and we won there actually. So the first one was a good one, and then I don't know how many I'd have to count back or look back to see how many I've competed since then. But it's always a privilege to compete for your country and to do well as a nation. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing like it. You know, when you win as a team, you get a real good buzz out of it. You know, I think as a team, you know, you don't want to let anyone down, so you probably feel a bit more pressure competing on Nations Cups, because not only are you not wanting to let your teammates down, but you also have you know, you're representing your nation, so you don't want to leave anyone else down either. But I suppose it's the difference between also the financial aspect. You know, you compete as an individual. You can imagine when you look around, it all takes a lot of money to keep everything running. So individually, you compete for the kudos and you compete for the financial aspect of it. You know, because there's a lot of money to be earned. So it's a balancing act between, you know, putting your foot forward for your nation and also doing your best individually and keeping your ranking up to a decent level. From Horsesport Ireland, we get a lot of support. You know, there's a lot of logistics that needs organising. You know, entries for international shows, passports that need validating, and I must say they're always there. Debbie in the office, who I deal with, she's great. She's really helpful. So, you know, they've been very good, and they're also, you know, they financially help us to travel the horses to, you know, if it's in Southern Europe or wherever the Nations Cup might be, there's some financial support for them as well.
As regards the team coach,
Robert Splain's been involved for a good number of years now, and I have a good relationship with him. I used to compete on Nations Cup teams with him when we were successful in a few. We won in Aachen together. So, I mean, he's a Cork man like myself, so I know him really well. He knows my family, so there's a good history there between the two of us.
How are we going to get on at the RDS now after a busy weekend at Hickstead? How's it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't know if Hickstead wasn't one of the nominated points Nations Cups for Ireland this year. It was sort of, I suppose, a fact-finding mission for Robert to see some new combinations competing. Dublin is more important, and also I don't think there's any member that will compete in Dublin that competed in Hickstead, so he's basically got 4 fresh horses there. So I would say they have a good chance. They've all had some decent form. I know Conor and Cameron have had some decent results in Calgary with their horses. Keane's, I mean, he's always a solid member of the team there. I would imagine he'll be organised. He'll have his horses in good shape. Dermot had some good results in Aachen with his mare. Shane Breen's been going really well with Balloon. He's had some really good form in Aachen, and I know he jumped the horse this week in Hickstead in some smaller classes, just building him up and preparing him properly for Dublin. So I would think they'll have a good chance. I mean, there's obviously 8 other teams that think the same, so it'll be very competitive because it's the last Nations Cup, and there's a lot of teams looking for points to qualify for Barcelona, where the final of this Furcia Nations Cup is going to be. So it'll be an exciting competition on Friday there.
What are your feelings if you're a betting man?
Honestly, top 3.